Welcome back to Earth Station Trek, a show where we trek from the early days on ABC to the future on Paramount Plus and everywhere in between. I'm Charles Kelso, and it's my privilege to introduce my human best friends, Alan Seiler
They've stolen my eyeballs.
and Veronica Dashel.
It's green.
Yay.
Hi.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the Strange New Worlds episode, Human Best Friend. Well, I guess we don't have any. Do we have any news that we wanted to talk about before we get
I
into
have
the
not had
episode?
a single second today to
Yeah,
put
no, I
stuff
feel you.
together.
I haven't seen anything.
But I couldn't
I
think
don't-
of anything off.
Yeah. Well, let's just carry on with the episode then. So this is going to be spoilers for season 4, episode 3, Human Best Friend. Um, it's been polarizing on the internet from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
But
did
so
you guys
was
think?
last week's,
True.
you know,
That's true.
big
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So the moral of the story is ain't nobody pleased with nothing. No matter what you
Right.
do, ain't nobody going to like it.
Yeah.
I am pleased that there is not a romantic relationship between Scotty and
Ortegas.
Ortega. Yes, me as well.
Right.
I like the way this has gone.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was fine. I wish it was funnier than it is. It was written by Kathryn Lyn, who's a writer that I really like from Lower Decks. And it's kind of like with, I mean, I said the same thing in Starfleet Academy, that there was jokes in Academy that I think would have worked better on Lower Decks than they do with that cast, or at least in live action. And that was kind of the case here. And I mean, the one you referenced when we were coming in, my eyeballs are missing. I think that would have killed if Boimler had
Boimler
said
had said it. Yes.
Yeah.
Or even live action Boimler had said it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
This,
makes
this was
total
very
sense.
much a Lower Decks episode that should not have been this cast.
Well,
I
it just Lower Decks brings with it a different energy
Yes.
and a franticness and a
Exactly.
faster pace that I think this would have benefited this episode. I think it sort of lumbered along through the comedy.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the comedy was kind of stilted, maybe a little forced.
Right.
I kind of feel like this is basically Naked Time and Naked Now, in the sense, or in DS9, Persona Dramata, whatever it was, where you have something that makes all your crew members basically play out of character, and to do something exaggerated and to really stretch outside of their normal, or re-emphasize a different element of their normal personality, and without as and none of those things have really good reasons for them. But this one, I think, falls into that same category where it doesn't really support the overall story.
Right.
It's just
And
silly
at
for
least-
silliness sake.
And at least with Pike, I felt like it was very much out of character. The others, I felt like what they were doing was at least somewhat in character, where Uhura was like, okay, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to relax. Because we've seen her be able to do that in the past on this show, and we know that she does that in the future. And obviously, Una was doing her thing, her fun. This is my fun time thing, and that's apparently her personality now.
Yeah. Well, the thing with
Yeah.
the Naked Time is that it all. I mean, I don't think it's the strongest episode of the original series, but it all really
Right.
comes together at the end
It
when you
does.
get those illuminating scenes about Kirk and Spock, and you really
Right.
get sort of right into the core of those characters.
Right. And that's what they tried to do here with those same two characters.
Right.
It just doesn't quite get to the finish line,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean?
And Naked Time also had the benefit of the ticking clock the whole time. The ship is in a decaying orbit.
Yes.
We've got to get the engines back on. We are all going to die. And then they introduced the bomb element sort of late in this episode, but
Yes.
there was never the sense of peril that you get from the Naked Time. Right?
Yes. Yes.
And you can't get that because you know Scotty's going to live.
Yeah,
Good
but I mean,
point.
on an average Star Trek episode, I'm relatively certain that the Enterprise is going to escape and everyone's not going to die.
Yes.
But I think it just adds an urgency to the story that we're in this decaying orbit and we've got to get out of this, you know?
Yes. So wait, let me get a couple of comments, because Bill says hello,
Hi, Bill.
and Michael Scott says, hey folks.
Hi.
Wayne says, "Hello, everyone. I was not disappointed when you guys locked into the eyeballs and the it's green lines. Thank you. We're here to serve." And he says, "Let's pretend the Spock seeing people as plants didn't happen."
Because he was not hallucinating Kirk, even though it seemed like he was, because no one else was acknowledging him when he was in the room earlier in the episode until the
Yes.
very end.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have just been in an adjoining room and just stepped in as the others were leaving. We don't know because we didn't see it on.
No, but he was in the frame at the same time they were walking out.
There was one scene where he was in the frame the same time that we're walking.
Oh,
It was-
okay. That's sloppy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is sloppy. Let's start with Kirk, I guess. Then, like, what did you guys think of the flimsy Kirk excuse this week?
No. I mean,
Okay.
I bought the excuse, but the interaction
Yes.
with him and Spock was awkward and weird.
I think the problem with it is that it's 2 weeks in a row. Last week, he just happened to be returning from the same conference that the others are. And this week, he just happened to be on vacation on the same planet that they are. It's weak, and I feel like it undermines. I mean, is he like stalking these people? Is he just going places where he knows they're going to be?
Right.
Like he's just like, please notice me, pay attention to me. You know,
Right.
I just don't think had we not had those 2 episodes in a row, maybe it would have been okay. Maybe I wouldn't have noticed it as much. But in this
Yeah.
case, both times it's like there's no reason for him to be amongst these people.
And there's no reason for the leap because there are subsequent episodes, like you said. Like you could have just started with him still on the ship.
Right.
Right.
That's true.
And I mean, in fact, I mean, I kind of thought that's where they were going with this episode when I saw the trailer. Like, oh, this is going to be the emotional repercussions of the previous week, right?
Yeah,
Almost
yeah.
like it's kind of like, Best of Both Worlds 2 and Family, where one leads right into the other.
Right.
And they could have done that with this because several of them went through a pretty harrowing experience last week.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, going to shore leave and processing their feelings wouldn't be out of line.
Yeah.
I mean, they hinted at that towards, I guess, with La'an, but you really didn't get much of that, of the fact that
Yeah.
she tried to murder somebody last week and
No.
Spock cut his own ears off.
Yeah, she was just
Exactly.
trying to go out and beat up people.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that this show is supposed to be more episodic than the other modern Trek shows, but
Right.
there comes a point where there are things just like in coming to a reconciliation at the end. I really enjoy. They're kind of like 2 of the junior main characters, and I'm very glad that we got an episode that focused on both of them. And I love both of them. And I don't know, for that, it worked. But there were so many other things about it that I was just like,
Yeah, like, I didn't hate it, but it
I
was
didn't
kind of
hate it.
like it really needed a faster pace. It needed more energy. I think that would have helped a lot. Like this, and it felt like it was shot in a hotel, which, I mean, I'm not throwing any stones. We've shot fan films in hotels before, but I mean, it really did feel like a hotel, and like I said, the pace didn't do it any favors. I really feel like you need. I mean, I think the story would have benefited from like a lower deck style, like manic energy. I know that's harder to do in live action,
sure.
or like I said with the Naked Time, where you have the ongoing ticking clock of that we're all going to die if we don't figure
Yes.
this out.
Right. Right. There were no, I mean, there were stakes in this,
Yeah.
but none that seemed, I mean, if we had known anything about these aliens before this episode, maybe that would have changed things. I don't know. But,
Okay.
the urgency of we have 2 weeks to get ready for this, conference or whatever it is, didn't really hold that much for me.
Right.
Now, when it got moved up to, they're going to be here in 2 hours. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it had as much weight.
Yeah. So we're getting some reports in the comments that YouTube's being funny tonight.
Yeah.
Which everything looks fine on my end. How's everything look on your end, Alan?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay, good. So good. So hopefully it's just something up with the streaming tonight, but hopefully this will be available in full after the fact. So
Yeah.
sorry, folks, if you're having
Yeah. So
difficulties.
sorry about that.
It's not one of us for a change. It's YouTube this time.
So
Right.
bear with us or watch the recording.
That's right. Well, I mean, let's look at. I mean, it's sort of in a Naked Time way. I mean, what did this tell
Yeah.
us about the characters?
Nothing.
I mean, I feel like we did get some nice insights into both Ortegas and
Mm-hmm.
Scotty,
Yeah, a
Sure.
little bit.
and
Yeah.
and somewhat into Spock.
Yeah.
Not much, but
Mm-mm.
we got something.
Yeah.
Other than that, not really much. I'll tell you one thing that I'm kind of disappointed about, and that is that Bonnie Tyler just almost lived long enough to see her song sung in Klingon.
Right.
What a wonderful thing that would have been, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder
Yeah.
if she had like if anyone sent it to her prior to her passing. If
I
she had to
was
approve
wondering
anything
that.
or anything like that. Um,
Right.
yeah. I think that Una singing power ballads in Klingon really doesn't is not very revealing about her character. I don't think
No,
No.
nothing that we don't already know.
no,
Pike getting face tattoos
no.
and slurring a lot through a speech doesn't really. I mean, I don't know where they were going with Pike.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Because
Like,
we sort
what
of
was,
started the season with him like running away from what he just found out at the end of, you know what I mean?
yep,
Um, but I don't know. He sort of meandered since then.
yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I tell you what. And as much as I love Anson, I don't think that was one of his better performances.
Mm-mm.
And it's not necessarily his performance. I think it really comes down to the writing and the directing. I really think that this was going for more, not like slapstick, but it was going for something, a lighter tone. And,
With higher energy.
sometimes actors tend to play too much into that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
sometimes directors should rein them in a little bit,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah, I can't say I've overly enjoyed any of his comedic performances in the various silly episodes they've done. I don't think that's
Yeah.
his strength.
Yeah,
Um,
true. But also the slicing off his fingers last week was a little over the top also. It did
Yeah,
not come
kinda.
across as realistic.
Right, kind of cartoony.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Um,
Elaine says, I did appreciate the clips from the original series animated show.
yeah, and they weren't just clips, like they were just as new artwork done in that style. But
Exactly.
I liked it that there was
I
new
did
artwork
too.
done
I
in that
thought it was
style.
so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michael Scott says, silly episode, but somehow fun, heavy-handed with Kirk Spock at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yes.
they've got to be heavy-handed with Kirk and Spock. That's what they do.
And Elaine says, and I love they went weirdly basic with showing the differences between the two conflicting sides for the peace talks and just the different color outfits. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the peace talks were barely mentioned. Like we don't even know what was going on with them. They may
Yeah.
have mentioned their species at one point.
Yeah, like Redoxian or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was something that kind of irked me. Not irked me, I guess, but like, remember when we watched the trailer and we were going through the stills? And I was kind of excited about this one. Like,
Me
ooh,
too.
that's a very Star Trekky thing. There's obviously two sides. They're negotiating on the Enterprise. Something blows up. What a
Yeah.
killer episode, right?
Yeah.
But it's just the B story for the Hangover,
It's like the C story.
right?
Spock
yeah.
and Kirk were the B story.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
The rest of it's just, dude, where's my shuttle?
Yeah.
That's good.
How long have you been waiting to
hilarious.
say that? Did it just come to you?
Why didn't they name the episode that?
I know.
Oh my God, that would have been so great.
That would be
Okay.
Amazing.
And had they done something like that, that tells you, that kind of gives you the mood that they're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Human best friend being relating to what we're calling the B story,
Right.
seems like it's got the emphasis wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I guess the human best friend could also refer to Ortegas and Scotty
Well, that's true.
becoming friends
That's-
in this episode, you know?
Good point. I did not
Yeah.
think about that. You're right.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I was more invested. I would love to find out more with the cool looking aliens. And as Elaine
Yeah.
says, they had different color outfits is the only difference between them. But that's
Right.
Star Trek, right?
Totally. Totally. That part I really like. That seems
Yeah.
so traditional to me.
Right.
Okay, let me ask. Since we mentioned the bomb, and that was a late addition into the storyline.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's a bomb. And when the bomb goes off, it's fireworks. And the aliens are like, oh my gosh, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Thank you so much for honoring our traditions. You have saved the peace talks. But then in the following scene, we find out that it really was a bomb. Because there
Yeah,
was
and it
something
seems like
that
the
made no sense.
there was a comment earlier that the bomb was using a mineral from their planet.
Yes.
Did I miss something? Who's responsible for the bomb?
Nobody
Uh,
knows.
No. It was said it was a saboteur from their planet that
Okay.
wanted to blow up the peace talks.
Okay, but then they acted like you've made this big
Yes.
expense and dangerous sacrifice. So maybe the saboteur was actually wanting peace and set up like the bomb that turns into the special fireworks.
But the bomb was
Maybe.
supposed to be on the Enterprise, not explode outside the
Well,
Enterprise.
I know.
I
Look,
mean, they didn't really make any of that clear.
no,
No.
no.
I mean, anyway, let me catch up on comments. Wayne says, nothing like hearing Total Eclipse of the Heart in the original Klingon.
That's
That is absolutely true. Michael Scott says, I don't know. I think Strange New Worlds has lost its mojo. I worry it's not going to get it back. It's stuck in mediocrity. And he also says, hasn't been truly good, in my opinion, since the first season.
I'd argue the second season was good as well.
Yeah, I think the second season had some strong episodes.
Sure. Wayne says, off subject. Nice hair, Veronica.
Thanks. I don't have it tied up in a knot. It's down.
What about us, Wayne?
Yeah, right? Come on,
You
man.
know, looking good over here.
Hell yeah.
I did nothing. I did not brush it.
Okay. And Michael Scott is going to reinforce what we were saying by going, the bomb part didn't make much sense. At first, I thought it was all planned by the aliens, so everything would work out. But no, it really was a saboteur.
Yep.
And that's the sort of thing you could have gotten into if you had more time for that storyline. And that might have been a good twist on a storyline, is they think there's a saboteur who's trying to sabotage the peace talks, who is actually trying to bring the planet together.
Yeah.
Right? And they have to make the realization that we have to allow this bomb to go off in the shuttle, and then they decide, I'm going to sacrifice my life for this. You know what I mean? Like that's a Star Trek story in there somewhere. You know?
Right, right, absolutely. The whole inebriation thing just, it never works for me. I don't care in what situation, on what show, with what actors. It just never works for me. It didn't in the 2 Naked episodes, and it doesn't here, and it doesn't on the Golden Girls. It doesn't anywhere. I just don't. It's hard to act inebriated.
Yeah. I think
You know
it's
what I
better
mean?
for a scene, like with
Yeah.
Troy in First Contact. When you
Yeah.
get just enough of it, then
Yeah.
you're out. Right? Like, but it's not going to go on for 45 minutes or an hour.
I feel like it worked well on Starfleet Academy in that scene.
Okay.
But again, that was a scene.
You talking
not
about
an
when
episode.
Sam
Scene.
was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
felt like that
yeah,
worked
yeah,
well.
yeah. Sure. I mean, that's
But it was
fine.
again, it was a scene
But I
or
think
a stretching of scenes.
But I think that was more revealing about her character than a lot of what we got here, because it was
Yes.
her experiencing that for the first time and trying to have friends. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And,
Yeah, yeah,
and also that
totally.
episode dealt with her makers and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
Right. Man.
So yeah, I would
Good
love to have
stuff.
seen something here that really revealed more about, like, I don't know what Pike getting a face tattoo means, right? Unless it's
Yeah.
some kind of, I mean, and if it was intended as a reference to him being scarred later and him processing that still,
Then make that reference.
yeah, like tie
You
that
know?
knot a little tighter, because I didn't get there. You know what I mean? During
Yeah.
my watch.
No, it just
Right.
was like, oh, face tattoo would be so cool.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like to me.
Right. Which, because that's what drunk people do.
Right.
That's all that was. I don't
Yeah.
think it was supposed to
Yeah,
mean
sing-
anything.
Sing karaoke and get a tattoo. Right. Now Uhura, when on the way down to the planet, was very intent on working anyway and bringing her tricorder,
Yeah.
and then she became a hostess of a party house
Mm-hmm.
the entire rest of the time. I mean, what
Yeah.
does that give us about Uhura?
Well, that
She likes
she's
to entertain people.
Yeah.
that she's a wild girl waiting to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like a lot of it could have been more explicit. Like, and I'm going back again, but like, Kirk in the Enterprise and Naked Time, Spock crying because he could never tell his mother that he loved her, You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. I think would sort of cut to the core of those characters and really establish them early on in the show.
Yeah, they missed all the emotional beats and only went for the jokes.
Yeah.
Like, you're still a
Right.
plant. Or,
Yeah,
do
I
you
mean,
know you're a plant?
there was emotional beats though between Scotty and Ortegas, though. I'll give
Yes.
it
Yeah.
that.
Mostly toward the end.
Yeah.
And that makes me think of a point, but let me get this comment before we do that. Michael Scott says, it went from inebriated to full-on hippie freak out. I was half expecting Jefferson Airplane to make an appearance. Speaking of hippie freak out, this would have been a great episode for Pelia.
Yeah.
I know, right? Like,
Yeah, but it
entire
seems like
Alpha Shift, and then Pike also said Alpha Crew instead of Alpha Shift.
yeah, it seems like though that the joke with Pelia would have been that she's not affected by any of this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like this is mild by
Exactly.
comparison. But they were already doing that with Spock, making the joke that like I'm terribly
Well-
inebriated.
It would have been the opposite one, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Michael Scott says the Kirk thing didn't make sense either. When did he actually show up? Why didn't anyone else see him at first?
Yep, I mentioned that earlier.
Yep. And Elaine, oh, hang on. I'm getting competing things. Elaine says, what I want to know is, did he have his peace speech tattooed on his fingers?
That's what it looks like.
Well, either that or just somebody wrote him. That was a cute scene, actually. Michael says, it's almost like the show is poking fun at Kirk showing up everywhere. Yeah.
If that's the case, then in the next episode they need to just be on a planet and he's just like hanging out by a tree, like, hey guys.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, like just go all the way in, and if you're gonna do that, because right now it just seems like they're not parodying themselves; they're just doing it.
Right, right. And Bill says, I think Black Books does Inebriated brilliantly. That show is trying to showcase and comment on dysfunction. If Trek tries that, bad things happen.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with Black Books.
neither am I. Yeah,
So you mentioned something to me earlier today. That the last thing that you said, which I'm sorry, we got into comments and I didn't make an immediate connection, but related to that thing about how the emphasis in shows has shifted, and it comes from one of the writers or producers.
yeah. No, it's Chris Fisher, who is he's an executive producer. He's also a producing director. He's directed several episodes, including the season premiere this year.
Yes.
Valis
Yeah, that's
Marineris. Right. And so he was on the Trek movie podcast and they were talking about the episode, right? And along the way he said, oh, the script came in and the script was perfect. And he said the plot was paint by numbers, but who cares about the plot anyway, especially on our show? It's about the emotion.
Yes.
And I thought, like, my first thought was like, I care about the plot.
Absolutely.
You know? But that really
Or that's very, very true. Why there's no plot?
right. Well,
Why do we have a show?
that is revealing about sort of the attitude of Strange New Worlds, and that's something we've talked about as the show's gone along.
Yeah.
Is that the emphasis is much more on the emotion and the characters than the plot, right? The plot
Yes.
it just sort of exists so they have these emotional moments,
The
know?
plot is the stage upon which the emotional drama plays out.
right?
Yeah, nice. Nice
When Doctor Who came back in 2005, that was the biggest barrier for me getting into this new show, because that emphasis had shifted so much. And of course, the show hadn't been on the air for 15 years, and television changes. The way that audiences consume television changes, their expectations of what they're going to get changes. I understand that. But, you know, I'm a plot guy, you know? And I don't really, I mean, I don't mind romance. I don't mind, you know, all the stuff that they are
As long
talking
as
about
it
when
is
they're,
related to the plot or has something to do with the plot.
yeah. And it doesn't even have to relate to the plot. I just feel like when the plot is secondary to character story, it's fine if it's Days of Our Lives. It's even fine if it's like a nighttime network drama, you know, like a police procedural or a courtroom thing or whatever. You have that same problem. You know, I just want a good plot. Now, the characters can play their stuff out over that, yes, but not to the sacrifice of the plot. You
Yeah,
know,
it was like-
being
like-
secondary or not making sense.
Yeah, like last week where they didn't even bother to try to solve the mystery much less actually solve it and give us some kind of an explanation
Yeah.
for what was happening. It was just like, oh, these things are happening. We have our character moments, and then good Division 12 will figure out off screen what was going on. You know,
Yeah.
whereas in old Star Trek, you would have got that sort of competency porn where the characters are trying to work together, trying to solve the problem, coming up with a solution. Now, sometimes the solutions were lame, sometimes the explanations were lame, but I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it though, not necessarily was. You know, I think that that's something that I do like in Star Trek is, you know, an explanation of what's happening, watching the characters figure things out, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
things that just make sense and pay off or are surprising, you know, like twists that I don't see coming. And you don't get that in Paint by Numbers or in, you know, an episode that's just left vague and ambiguous.
Right. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You can certainly do vague and ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said last week, we're so used to other ships being like falling prey to all these unexplainable things. And then our heroes come in and fall prey to the thing, but figure it out.
Right. Yeah.
Not that everything has to be figured out. You know, anyway, Elaine chimes in by saying, Pelly, it must have been off in the phone box.
Yep.
Vandy Beth, hello, Vandy Beth, explains that Black Books was a British sitcom made by raging transphobe Graham Linehan, sorry.
Okay.
And Bill says that Black Books is a British sitcom about an actual bookshop and a handful of very interesting characters with really good writing and acting. Nice.
Okay.
Michael Scott says, everything this season so far has seemed like a first draft.
Yeah.
And Bill says the first episode, Black Books, the first episode inserts a little bit of fantastic, but after that, it's generally very believable, except maybe the installation of an e-security door.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think that there's a balance that you can find of doing more
Sure.
character development, but also having coherent stories.
yeah.
Right. And I was talking to Bronca the other day because I watch a lot of times at night I'll watch like old black and white westerns, and I was like, those are some of the best teleplays I think ever in television. And they had to produce
Yeah.
them very quickly, but they were
Yeah.
very tight little stories,
Yeah.
often with just you know, a main character or two, and then it's the guest story of the week they get involved in. And
Mhm.
you have that they have like 24 minutes or something to introduce these characters, the situation, you know, develop whatever theme they're developing. But they're very good, and they always wrap everything up and pay off, and it's just bam, bam, bam. Like they were just pros at writing for television. The people working
Right.
on those shows, you know.
Absolutely.
And I don't think the shows today are nearly as tight. And now they're better in different ways, I would say. You know, obviously the representation is better, and
Yes.
you know, they can do more on television. They're not quite as restricted as they were back in the 60s.
I feel like the restriction probably helped
Maybe.
more back then because, at least for me, when I was assigned something for theater, and they're like, "Do whatever you want to do," and I'm like, "I can't do
Sure.
that."
But I think that I would love a Strange New Worlds where they arrive somewhere and there's characters that we are introduced to who have some sort of a situation going on, and they get involved in the situation and help them come to a resolution before leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
even that situation could mirror something in our real world.
Sure.
I think I'm really onto something here. I think this is a
Yeah.
crackerjack idea.
I just want to say quickly, we've got a pretty good number of people watching. So, you know, we've gotten a lot of comments from a few people. But if anybody else wants to let us know what they thought of the episode or a particular part of the episode, drop a comment in, and we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for other people to comment, Wayne says, oh, wait, formal hello. That's the complicated greeting ceremony?
Yep.
Well, there was also a speech that he apparently bungled.
And they got very upset about.
They don't have a hypo that can alleviate these symptoms that are going on.
Thank you. But wait a
Or
minute. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, or someone else on the ship who can step in.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kirk didn't seem to be affected at all. Maybe Kirk could have stepped in. He seemed to be fine.
You know, that's such a Strange New World thing to do. Kirk Pike is out of the picture, so Kirk has to step in and save the day.
Right.
I thought that, you know, the effects were supposed to happen like as soon as the door opens on the shuttlecraft, and like when they get back on the shuttle and leave, your symptoms are gone.
No,
So-
an hour.
Yeah, they said within an hour.
But that's still, it would take them an hour to get back to the ship, you know? So why were they still inebriated for the rest of the episode? Anyway,
Yeah, they threw in like the effects aren't wearing off. I guess it affects other people differently.
yeah, but why?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bill says, I didn't know anything about Graham Lynan. I'm currently hanging out with several trans folks, among others. Okay.
Okay, great.
Michael says, weirdly, despite all the flaws, I enjoyed this episode more than last week simply because it made me laugh a few times. I
Okay.
think I could kind of agree with that.
Sure.
And he also says it took it to mean the informal hello was the universal translator's way of translating different grammatical register which doesn't exist in English.
Okay.
Okay, I
Okay.
can see that because
Yeah.
Sure.
the Korean has like the formal speak and the casual speak.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the writer should have thought of that too. That would be a good idea for the episode.
Yeah.
And Mr. Matt Sweatman says, I am purposely not saying what I thought of this episode. Oh, come on, man. Give
Let it out,
to
Matt.
us. Give it to us.
Write a
We
paragraph.
want it. We need it. We feed on the darkness. Oh, man.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, I just kind of wish that I don't know. I mean, and I don't want to be old guy bitching about new storytelling, but you know, I would love just tighter stories that
Mhm.
you know told a story from beginning to end. You know what I mean? And I would love to have been more engaged in what was happening with these aliens than I was.
Yeah.
They really just were sort of there to be there. You know, like they're just
Yeah. I mean,
They were a reason
we've-
to hurry back to the ship.
Right. And we've
Mm-hmm.
certainly seen that kind of thing before, you know, and I'm thinking, and not that this was a good episode either, but the Next Gen episode, I think it was season 2, where you had the dog people and the fish people or whoever it was, and
Yeah.
they're like trying to sabotage each other, like outside the hallway. They're trying to like noose them and all this kind of things. And
Yeah.
that was so inconsequential and added to nothing. But
right.
anyway,
Well, what did you think about Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall?
oh,
being in this
I
episode?
was going to mention him. Dave Foley's always great,
Yeah,
and he's got weird feet.
he's got 2 toes or 4, I guess.
So
in
why
total.
didn't his hands match his feet?
I don't know.
Too
Ugh.
much FX.
Yeah, then they have to do this thing the whole time, whereas for the feet they can
Yeah.
go for that one shot.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but still.
Well, speaking of digits, what do you think about Scotty's thumb?
Oh, that was nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And pointless.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least
if it was
Go
a
ahead.
result of the explosion, it wouldn't just be dangling like a clean cut like that. It
Yeah.
would be disintegrated. I don't understand it.
Yeah, Spock said he was going to beam him out like 1 zeptosecond before the explosion. So maybe
Yeah.
his thumb, maybe it should have been 2 zeptoseconds, so his thumb would have survived. You know,
Right.
I had the thought like, it should have been the middle finger on his right hand because that is as a reference to James Doohan losing that finger in World War II.
Good point.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. Okay. Elaine says Kirk stepping in could also have been the pathway for how he ends up on the Enterprise.
Do you think he's going to end up on the Enterprise though?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't know where they're going with this. And Matt says, I want to keep this podcast all ages. Okay, well, that's fine.
Thank you, Matt.
That's fine. You can put your things in the comments and we will talk around what you're saying.
There you go.
Anyway, so yeah, this wasn't my favorite episode. And it wasn't
Yeah.
bad, but
Well, how do you think
I
the
don't-
season's shaping up so far?
Meh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready for puppets. I really
Oh,
hope
I'm
it's good.
not. I'm so sorry, but I
Really
think
hope it's
after
good.
the last 2 episodes, Puppets is just going to do it in for me.
Yeah, I think we have one more before the puppet episode.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Right.
Yeah, no, I thought the premiere was off to a good start. And that the sort of
Yeah.
pulpiness of it appeals to me though, like the Martians and dinosaurs. Although there even I had some criticisms of the episode. You know, I didn't know that the
Sure.
dinosaurs like I said on that episode, I wish they would have put that effects money towards the arachnid aliens and just not had it in the past rather than dinosaurs. I'd much rather have seen the
Yeah.
insectoid or arachnoid people
Yeah.
and their war with these guys, right? And again,
Right.
here I would love to have seen more of a development of these two aliens. It's kind of like, and you referenced Doctor Who earlier, but I remember when Doctor Who was coming back and Russell T was saying how everything involves humans because no one cares about the Zognauts on planet Zog. And I was even
Yes.
then like, I care about the Zognauts on planet Zog. What's going on
Right.
there? You know, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Exactly.
But I guess that
Yeah.
there is sort of an attitude that I don't know. It's like making Star Trek cool by taking out the dorky bits. You know what I mean? But
But the
I'm a dork,
dork
so I like
bits
those
is what
bits.
makes it.
Right. That's
Yeah.
why we like
God.
it.
It's like they're afraid to lean into what Star Trek is.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say, and I know that you shouldn't ever, ever put too much stock into what a trailer shows you. But they really, like, how many trailers did they release before the season starts? At least, there's three that I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say theory.
They really leaned into the Star Trekkiness and the seriousness and really did not emphasize any of the silliness or the kitschiness or the gimmicks. They really, really cut around all those things to give you a very specific idea of what the season was going to be like. And it has not been anything like that.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
man, I want to like sue Paramount for false advertising or something. I mean,
Isn't it?
not that
It's
I've
something else. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Nope.
No, I was gonna say something else that keeps jumping out at me about the show, and I really do think it affects the tone of the show. But their sets are so big, and always so
Yeah.
empty.
Yeah.
And you'll
yeah.
have one or two or very few people in these cavernous spaces,
Right.
and it's like it feels isolating and like lonely. You know, and I
Yeah.
mentioned that when they're walking through the corridors in this episode talking, I was like, where is everybody? Like, no one's working on
Right.
this ship. Like, usually you have some extras that are walking by or, doing something in the background and that sort of thing, like, because it's a busy, populated ship. Not just you walk through down the corridor of the Enterprise and there's no one around unless that's part of the plot. You know what I mean? But even
Yeah.
like the shuttle, everyone's so far apart from each other. And I know that part of that was like the COVID thing has sort of carried on. But I think,
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, like, I think the set should be smaller. But also, I just got to get more people in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if it's that empty, there should be an echo when they speak.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Their shuttles
Yeah,
were
I mean,
huge.
yeah. So we get the doctor as a bartender.
That's true.
Yeah.
Trying to do cocktail, not very well.
Right. And Nurse Chapel playing, and she becomes like and she's doing like bingo, and man, she gets competitive.
Yeah. The bingo scene I liked. I liked
Yeah,
the
okay.
Vulcan calling bingo. I like the
Yes.
little old ladies that like I don't know, they look like the demons from Buffy. Were they demons in Buffy? Is that who she was fighting?
No, vampires.
Vampires. But you know what I mean? They had that sort of like
Yeah.
they do that.
Yeah.
I kind of like the gang of old ladies and the Vulcan calling bingo numbers.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
kind
I
of
could-
like that they included bingo, like actual bingo, because usually when they reference bingo, it's like Enterprise bingo. It's like that's not how bingo works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
not
I
bingo.
know. I know.
It's a scavenger
Yeah.
hunt.
Right.
I did like the bingo bit.
Okay.
Here's a question: who would win in Ambo Jitsu? Ortega? Oh, no, I mean sorry, La'an or Mariner?
Oh, that's a good one. I think La'an,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I'm leaning towards as well. What do you
because
think?
she's got superior strength on her side. She's
Yeah.
got a different fighting attitude than Mariner does.
Okay. I
Mariner
mean,
would-
Mariner took Ambo Jitsu pretty seriously. She whooped
Sure.
up on Boimler.
Well,
Yeah,
Rutherford.
but that's Boimler and Rutherford.
plus she's
I mean, if she had taken Tendi, that would have been a different story.
Okay.
yeah, okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, Wayne says, "Wow, that was Dave Foley. I hardly recognized him." Yeah,
Oh,
it's
really?
the beat. Matt says, "We thought with the season premiere that we were getting more Strange New Worlds and less gimmicky episodes. Episodes 2 and 3 are gimmicky episodes."
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're doing the genre thing.
Yes.
What genre are we doing this week?
Right.
This week it's a horror with a horror director. This week's a comedy with a comedy director.
Yeah.
but it
And
was
next
more in the
week,
vein of, like I said, like a Dude, Where's My Car or The Hangover.
right? And is it next week that we're getting the film noir, or is
Oh, it
that
might
later?
be. I don't
Oh
remember.
no, no, I think that's later. I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but so
but
yeah,
this is at least. I mean, this one was a planet. We were on a planet.
it was. We
New
got a
planet.
strange
Yeah.
new world.
At least a hotel on that planet.
Yep.
But I'll
Right.
take it. You know, my
Sure.
bar is set kind of low.
Technically, the entire planet has the fumes that affect you, so
Mm-hmm.
technically, the entire planet was involved.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting addition to the Star Trek canon. Is there's a drunk planet where you go there and the
Why do
atmosphere makes
people
you drunk.
don't go there instead of Risa? Why do people go to Risa instead of there?
The Rise is a sex planet.
I mean,
Not
you
a
get
drunk
drunk
planet.
in the
Gotcha.
Finny planet. It's a
Sorry.
sex planet.
I mean, if I'm picking, I'm going to the sex planet. I guess if the drunk planet's closer,
Right.
like this is for people who can't afford Risa. Or can't-
There you go. That's what it is. It's all economics.
right.
All right. Michael Scott says, I figured it's not going to change at this point. Me too. There's been plenty of time for feedback, and they're not listening to the fans by now. The rest of the cake has been baked in this style already. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
And
I agree with
certainly
you.
because they shot seasons 4 and 5 together, they're completely done with
Yeah.
production. So yeah, I think we're stuck.
Yeah, and
And Matt's
I think there's a lot of things that I find as flaws on the show that they don't. You know, And
Right.
so
Right.
I don't think they see anything wrong with the way they're portraying Captain Pike. I don't think they see anything wrong
Right.
with the giant sets or the who cares about the plot kind of
Right.
attitude. You know.
Totally. Totally. Matt says, Star Trek has a history of hinting at being tired from. Oops, hang on, my screen jumped. Tired from previous unseen adventures. In the very first pilot, we even see recreations of such an adventure. I want those adventures.
Yeah, and that was something that it was mentioned I think after the first episode that like, oh, we just finished all these strange new worlds. You know what I mean? Like what crap.
Right. And Michael says, speaking of the strange new world, was it just me or were the CGI effects in the city really poor? I did not notice that.
No,
But I will say, I watched it at 5:30 this morning, and I did not get a chance. Usually, I watch it before work, and then I do a second watch after work. And I was
Right.
literally like I clocked out at 8 p.m. So like seconds before we went live, and I just had not had a chance to do a second watch yet.
yeah, we just finished our second watch before we went on, and I liked it more in the second watch. I
Yeah,
find though
okay.
that I'm harder on episodes when I watch because I watch a lot at 5 a.m. as well, and I'm a little crabbier, a little tireder. You know what I mean?
Not quite awake yet.
Yeah, a little more critical. Why is this wasting my time? I could be asleep right now.
But also, I think the second time through, you go in knowing what to expect. So I think your expectations are different than they are when you first wake up and you're like excited to see a Star Trek, and that's what you get, you know?
Right.
Okay, Matt says, Ambo Jitsu, you mean the ultimate evolution of martial arts? Yes.
Yeah. I do like that
Absolutely.
Ambo Jitsu gets referenced more often now.
Yeah.
What did you think of the reuse of the Mugatu costume from Starfleet Academy?
I like that.
That was cute.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Feel like this one looked more like Mugatu,
Yes.
because of the height of the actor wearing it, partly. Because tall actor wearing a Mugatu costume doesn't work very well.
Yeah. I did enjoy it here more than I did in Academy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cute. I just absolutely love Scotty.
Okay.
I just love him. I think that, and you know, original series Scotty too, but this one more so.
Oh, really?
I just think Martin has really done a great job with the character, and he's just so adorable, and I love that we're seeing a Scotty who's kind of finding his path and, you know, figuring out who he's going to be when he gets to the original series. You know, it's so weird to talk in those reverse kind of like
I know, but like
chronology, but
it's like he's gonna find out who he's gonna be in 2 years. The original series. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the thing that gets me about it. If this
Yeah,
was
I know.
set 20 years earlier, then
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm just continually annoyed that Scotty looks like a little boy and
Yeah.
we're literally like 2 years away from, in the timeline of the 45-year-old Scotty, who's sort of like the knowledgeable old hand on the ship, which I find that kind of absurd, and I'm not wild about the portrayal here, so I'm glad that
Oh,
you
okay.
enjoy Martin Quinn's Scotty more than I do.
Yeah. Yeah. It may just be that he's so adorable. Can't help it. Michael says, speaking of Vulcans, I noticed that the mean Vulcan lady from episode 1 still hasn't come back. Yeah, I'm sure she's going to be like a 4-episode thing or something, like
Yeah, I'm sure.
4 appearances throughout the season, and it's not going to mean anything until the end. And somehow we're going to get it just like we did last year with the nurse kid.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt says, I never knew Scotty was a furry.
Now, to be
man.
fair, it's more of an ape suit than a fursuit. So
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of ape suit performers. Like Janis Prohaska was one of the greats, and he's the one who played the Mugatu, and that was his own ape suit. Like a lot of those guys owned their own ape suits and built them or had them built, and would go studio to studio being cast as apes in various productions. There's a whole genre of like Charlie
Interesting.
Gamora, Janis Prohaska, of these ape suit performers. Like I'm in like ape suit Facebook groups that are about ape suit performers. Like I'm into it. But it was a
Nice.
craft. You couldn't do CGI. You couldn't have apes on set. I mean,
Right.
not grown ones because they'll rip
Right.
somebody's head off. But there's gorillas were very common in like old TV shows, and like you could like on Gilligan's Island,
Gilligan's
gorilla's
Island.
gonna show up, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So
I'm sure there was one on the Brady Bunch at some point.
yeah, exactly.
think
Like,
of
all
one, but
those
I'm
old
sure
shows, you have the gorilla episode. You know.
Right. And there were a couple of aliens on Lost in Space that were gorilla-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And-
that's really interesting.
Yeah. And actually, the ape suit that he used for the Mugatu was the same ape suit that he was on the Lucy show, because there's shots with Lucy with that white ape suit, and it's Janis Prohaska playing it with his, because they would own their own. They would get hired with their suit and go be on a show.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, you have opened my eyes to a whole chapter of Hollywood history that I knew nothing about. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I'm actually really into ape suit performers. I think it's cool.
And you've even opened my eye to the fact that there are whole Facebook groups dedicated to this craft.
There's whole
That's
Facebook
right.
groups for all kinds of nonsense.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. I want to do a show and tell real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Prepare to be amazed.
Is it your ape suit?
No. Can you see
What is
this?
it?
I
No.
found the same model toy robot that Kirk bought for David
Shut up.
because it looked like a store-bought thing. So I did some Googling and see if I can, and I figured out like what actual toy robot that was they had in the show, and I got one.
That's
It arrived today.
Awesome.
I know it came just in time. Yeah, it's just
That
a little
is
wind-up toy
fantastic.
robot. Mm-hmm. Little
Wow, that's
Star Trek.
What are you
just
naming him?
ask him- I haven't named him yet. He's new. Yeah, he just came today.
Yeah.
You have any suggestions?
No. I'm terrible at naming things.
Yeah.
My
Would
pet's
you like
a-
Kirk and give him to an infant?
That's right. All right. Matt Sweatman says, I never knew ape suit was a thing.
Yeah, join the Ape Suit Cinema Facebook group. And there's also there's a website called Hollywood Gorilla Men, and they actually do tutorials on there as well about how to do like store-bought suits and convert them into like pro level ape suits.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talk-
Wow.
Very dorky person.
Yeah, well, aren't we all? Elaine says, I bet it's going to be something about the monkeys. She says, there was even a gorilla in a few episodes of the monkeys. Look at that. I called it.
There you go. Yep.
Oh, thanks, Elaine.
Yeah.
So anything else that we want to say about this episode?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I've sort of said my piece. I would love, like I said, I would have loved to have seen more of these aliens, and it was kind of the same thing. Remember that Amok, I guess Spock Amok episode where you had the Rondovians and they had the weird face markings, but it was like the B plot and the A plot was the Vulcan hijinks. That seems to
Yeah.
be how like Strange New Worlds is, and I would
Yep.
love to have get more about these aliens and learn about their cultures and things like that. Maybe there's a dilemma that has to be solved, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure. Why not? Let's
And
do
not
it.
we saved the day by oopsie. Oops, our shuttle blew up. Thank you for respecting our culture. You know what I mean? It's like a
Yeah.
parody of a Star Trek.
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Well, all right. Since we have come to the end of our discussion about this episode,
Hmm.
I have a question of the week.
Hey,
What?
All
it's
right,
been
you
a
ready?
while.
Yeah.
What characters would you like to see compete in a cooking competition
Okay.
from
Now,
any show from any time period?
I think that the natural ones, just based on skill set, would be like Neelix, Cisco, Pike,
Yes.
because they're the ones we see cooking. You know
Yes.
what I
Yep,
mean?
sure.
But I'm trying to think of a funnier answer than that. So,
Exactly.
like, Worf, I would love to see on a cooking show.
There you go.
That would
I like
be
it.
that would have a lot of comedic
Data.
potential. Data would do a great job. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be
But
interesting
then
to
he'd
see
be confused
Data.
as to why it doesn't taste right at the end. Like, right, there'd be something like that where like it doesn't have the human soul. You know what I mean? And he's trying to
Exactly. Which is
find
why it would be great.
that'd be a whole B plot of Data trying to cook, but he can't capture that
Yes.
human soul. You know what I
Because he
mean?
can't
Yes.
taste it.
And he,
That
yeah,
would be
so
a
he
good
has to
B
have
plot
other.
when they were at DS9.
Mhm.
Cisco teaching Data how to cook, helping him find his soul.
Yes. That would be
Insulted.
amazing.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So who else? Because I
Okay.
think that Major Kira could probably cook because she was out playing soldier for so long and had to survive. You know, I bet you she
Yeah.
can.
But her cooking would be like those rat things they saw on that moon. You know what I mean? Like, ugh.
those like spider monsters.
Yeah,
that
that's
they're-
right. It was a spider monster.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what I want to see, man.
Yeah.
I want to know what those things taste like for real.
Right. Or like
do
a
not.
pine cones or whatever, like survival food
Yes,
from the resistance.
right.
That would be a funny cookbook.
That would be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Veronica,
That's
what's
a
your
good-
suggestion for someone who should be on a cooking
I already
competition?
said.
What did you say?
Data.
Oh, okay.
I made a suggestion of
Just
data.
making sure you're included.
I was.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that would be a good cooking competition. And I think Worf would be very funny.
Mhm.
He'd get angry.
Nog would be funny.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
really,
I would-
anyone with like a lot of their alien foods, there were like silly, gross things, and so it'd be like
Yeah.
tube grubs, and everyone was like, "Whoa," you know?
yeah, exactly. Saru doing some of his native dishes, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Seaweed and stuff.
I bet Saru's would look really good because, like, you
Yes.
remember like the plants in his room, like,
Yeah.
it would his presentation would be on point of his food.
Yeah, totally. I think we should do, instead of Iron Chef, we do Iron Trek. That's great. All
There
right.
you go.
Bill says horror host Mr. Lobo has acquainted his fans with an annual calendar day celebration of ape suits.
Hey, good job, Mr.
Interesting.
Lobo.
Oh yeah. Matt says chef from Enterprise.
That's Riker,
From-
right?
Huh? No, the show Enterprise.
I know, but it was Riker in the final episode.
Oh, in the last episode. Oh, that's right.
you finally
Elaine
saw
says
Chef, and it was Riker.
T'Pol versus Spock, who makes the most flavorful plomeek soup.
Yeah, the blandest plomeek soup.
Right. Let's see. Bill says would
Gowron.
who? Oh, Galron go all Swedish chef. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Gowron would be good.
Any Klingon, just a Klingon cooking show would be amazing because, like
Yeah.
we've said, Klingons approach everything as if they're on the battlefield, and
Well,
they
that's
would
that one Klingon.
subject-
That
What?
one Klingon cook on DS9, or the restaurant
There
guy,
was.
his little guitar thing, who was
Yes.
serenading them as they ate.
Yeah, he was in like 2 episodes of season 2, and we never saw him again.
Yeah, was that Melora that threw the gawk back at him and
Yeah.
demanded fresher gawk? You know, and he's
Oh,
yes,
or he's
yes,
like,
yes, yes, yes.
"Rah!" You know,
Yes,
he was trying to
Yes.
pass off the dead worms.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
love.
that.
I'd completely forgotten about that until I just finished my season 2. Oh no, I saw what you're looking at. Giorgio could cook Saru.
No, thank you.
Was Cerubi on the
Yes.
cooking show?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I don't know if y'all remember this, but speaking of cooking, Nana Visitor had years and years ago, maybe 10 or 12, 15, whatever years ago, was doing a series of videos on her YouTube channel where she and her sister
I
were
do remember
doing
that.
like a cooking show.
Yeah.
Kitchen Witches, it was called. And I asked her one time because she was at Dragon Con, and it's kind of a funny story. But anyway, I asked her, if that was something that she was hoping to develop, and she was like, "Yes, I would love to. If somebody picked that up and developed a show with it." So I don't think that, obviously that never happened, but that's a shame because they were really funny.
Wow.
I loved them. I watched them all the time.
On the cooking theme, have you ever seen Dorothy Duder's cookbook? Dorothy Duder was the on-set food decorator for Enterprise, but she's actually a really great chef, and she would make these delicious meals that could work on screen as alien food and all this kind of stuff, and everyone loved it. Well, she put together a cookbook that I guess Simon and Schuster declined to release. And so her husband, who's Doug Drexler, who worked on all the Star Treks and everything,
Yeah.
just released the PDFs on Facebook.
Oh,
And you can
cool.
find them. And there's like photos and her recipes
Wow.
and that kind of
That's-
stuff, like her brownies and all the. Yeah, it's
That's
pretty cool.
fantastic. Why
That's
didn't she
hilarious.
self-publish that and make some money off of it?
Well, I think that it's going to be photos of stuff from Star Trek and stuff from Star Trek. So I think that they needed the license.
Yeah.
Well, Simon Schuster lost out because now it's out there for free,
Right.
and fans are
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I think
That's
it's like 60 pages or something, but I don't remember that off the top of my head. But no,
That's
it's worth
really
checking out if you
cool.
search for Dorothy Duder cookbook.
Wow. Oh, I think I spoiled something for Elaine. Well, damn, I'm not going to see the singing Klingon again on DS9? Sorry.
sorry.
No, he's a pivotal character, Elaine. Just you wait.
Yeah. Pivotal. Oh my
Right.
gosh. Having just wrapped up season 2, I cannot wait until Matt and Elaine get done with season 2
Yeah.
and we finish Strange New World so we can have them on because I've got so much to say about DS9 season 2.
Yeah. The conventional wisdom of the first couple seasons were bad, I think, is misplaced.
And it's wrong.
Now
Absolutely.
it gets better. I'm not going to lie about that. Like the
100%.
DS9 doesn't hit 100% in season 2, but it's not TNG season 2 by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not hit 100% in season 2, but I say 85%.
Right. I mean, I don't mean I mean 100% of its potential of what DS9.
Oh,
would
I
become.
get you. I get you.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
sorry.
Like they're good episodes. They just weren't season 6. you know what I mean?
Exactly. And that says something. But anyway, we'll talk about that when we have that episode. But
Right.
because we're
All right. Well,
out of
Alan,
time.
where can people find more of you?
CosmicCreative.com. KOZMIC creative.com. And you can see me at DragonCon. I will be doing three panels. Oh yeah, 3 panels in the Brit track, 2 in the Trek track, and 1 Stranger Things panel.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
come and see me. My Brit track panels are one's about Doctor Who, one is Ted Lasso, and one is David Bowie.
Nice.
Oh, I can't wait.
And how about us, Veronica?
FeltNerdy.com.
That's right. And you can find Felt Nerdy at DragonCon or at the National Puppet Slam, which is happening the same weekend. So if you're coming to DragonCon, get some tickets for the National Puppet Slam. Come see us because we're part of that, and it's a big honor. Like this, puppeteers are flying in from all around the country who have been accepted for their pieces, and our piece was also accepted. So performing alongside them is going to be a big honor for us.
Absolutely.
But also, we've got our own shows that we're doing all through DragonCon, so we'll be posting our schedule pretty soon. And we're going to be in a ballroom. I think we've mentioned that before, but it's actually on the schedule still that we're going to be over at the. It's not called the Sheraton anymore, but over at the Sheraton.
The Cortland Grand
Cortland
Ballroom.
Grand
Yeah,
Ballroom.
nobody calls it that though.
I know.
It's still Sheraton.
Yep.
Yes.
But you can follow Felt Nerdy across social media or Felt Nerdy and Dirty for the adult stuff. And where else people find us?
Monkeying Around, a podcast about the monkeys.
That's right. And coming this week, we're having a big crossover episode where Alan and Keith are going to be on from Earth Station Trek. Michael Gordon's going to be on from Bat Chums. And because we're all folks who have spend a lot of time talking about specific 1966 television shows, but the 66-67 year was a hugely influential year for television. And so we're going to do sort of our, preview of the upcoming 1966, but 60 years later in retrospect, right? So we'll be talking about the Monkees, Star Trek, Batman, but a lot of other shows that debuted that season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
join Monkeying Around Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern at Monkeying
Yes.
Around on YouTube. And come check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be a fun one. And Veronica, do you have a closing for us this week?
I found the dragon.
Nice.
I don't know if that was how it was phrased, but that's how I remembered it.
That's okay. You had when he asked the question, you had that look of I am prepared. I was like, yes,
Not-
it's gonna be a good one.
Oh,
It's
right.
that kid that never has done her homework, but this is the first time she did her homework. I did it.
I did it last week too.
Your
I
call
got
on
it 2
me.
weeks in a row.
Good
All
job.
right. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next Thursday. Unless you join us on Monkeying Around on Wednesday, then we'll see you next Wednesday.
That's right.
Bye, y'all. Oh, robot.